EM calls the police on me for stealing her as my own adult. Sorry this is so long, but I hope those of you who read it will enjoy it. Background: this happened about 5 years ago. My fiancé and I have been together 7 years this month. We're hoping to get married this year but might postpone due to the circumstances. We were reminiscing some old stories yesterday when this one came up, and she suggested I share it. She was my girlfriend at the time, and at the time I was fully aware that her mom was a few fries short of a happy meal, but this was the pinnacle of her behavior. If you guys enjoy this story, I actually have a few more I shall share if you like. Sorry for the length, but I hope you guys enjoy it. For your information, there is a happy ending cast EM entitled Mom, My Future Mother-in-Law Girlfriend Ellie PO Police Officer. Original poster story. Ellie and I weren't living together at the time, she just stayed over from time to time when she could. I took her home after she had been staying with me a couple days and was heading to work. But shortly after, just before getting to work, I get a phone call from her and I can tell she is in tears. Apparently when she got inside, EM immediately blew up on her about being gone for significant other long, even though it was only 2 days, and she told EM she was going to be gone and kept in contact with her while she was gone. But Ellie just sorta brushed it off and went to her room. EM's house was pretty much your stereotypical crazy cat lady house. House badly decaying, cats all over the place, going to the bathroom in random places and whatnot. And when Ellie gets to her room, she realizes while she was gone, the cats pissed and shit all over a pile of her clean clothes. But whatever, Ellie decided to just bag them up and she would wash them next time she came to my place. Her mom didn't have a functioning washer at the time apparently. That really set EM off. EM apparently thought Ellie was bagging her clothes because she was planning to go back to my place that night, stay another few days. So she stomped into her room, grabbed the bag, ripped it open, and flung the clothes all over the room along with the cat shit and piss while screaming at Ellie that she's not going anywhere. That's when Ellie ran outside and called me. She was so upset and didn't know what to do. Her mom had been doing crazy stuff to Ellie since I'd been with her, but up until I just helped her however I could while not getting involved and not saying a word to her mom. I told her to go ahead and get the things she needs, and I'll take her to my place. She said she would love that. I told my work I was gonna be late due to an emergency, and turned around to go pick her up. When I pulled back up to the house, Ellie was in the driveway crying. I went and hugged her, told her it was gonna be okay and that she could stay with me as long as she wanted. So she went back inside to get her things. As I was standing outside waiting, I heard the door open again and went to help Ellie with her as her mom. EM comes stomping out with her hair crazy and frizzled, and an old nightgown. She beelines for me and gets right in my face. EM with an extremely thick high-pitched southern accent. My daughter said I need to come out her and ask what you think of me. I knew that was a blatant lie as Ellie would never instigate this. You got something to say? Huh? You think I'm trash don't you huh? That's what you think isn't it? Again, up until now, I'd completely kept my mouth shut, and was trying to maintain that. But this woman was up in my face, freaking out, and was tormenting the woman I loved, so I finally looked at her and broke my silence. N? That's my daughter and I worship the ground she walks on. Original poster. Oh really? So calling her a slut, bitch, cunt, and whore is worship? Yes, I've heard her say this with my own ears. EM gasp. I would never say anything like that. Original poster getting rather irate. Bullshit, I've heard you say it. EM explosion. You get your fucking ass off my PR. Original poster. Okay, I almost never find myself in situations like this, so I'm not used to it. I say that because after she said this, I pretty much saw red. I'm not proud of it, but I just started shouting every curse word in the book I could possibly think of at the top of my lungs while she went back in the house. But thankfully, that only lasted a few seconds and I immediately calmed down. So finally Ellie comes back out with her stuff, we put it in the car and I assume it's over, but Ellie turns to me and says, Ellie, I'm sorry but we can't leave yet. Original poster. Why not? Ellie sigh. Mom called the cops. I sorta had a feeling that would happen, no big deal. So we just sat and waited for the cop to arrive. After about 10 minutes or so, a cop car pulls up. Right when he does, EM comes out of the house, and oh my god. Yes, she was doing exactly what you think. She instantly puts on the fragile brittle old lady act. Hunched over, walking slowly, the whole gig. And of course, when PO asks her what happened, she has to pitch her entire medical chart to the guy. Ellie will tell you this woman has been terminally ill for 12 years. Laugh out loud. So when she finally gets done trying to milk this poor guy for sympathy, she tells her version of what happened. EM sir, he came onto my property and verbally attacked me. He's awful to me sir and I've never even done anything to him. He's turned my daughter against me and is trying to convince her to leave. At first, he seemed somewhat sympathetic to he turns to Ellie. PO ma'am, this is your boyfriend? Ellie yes sir. PO okay, and how old are you? Ellie sir. I'm 23. This was my favorite part because the officer looked up from his notepad with a look of wait, what? Obviously he was thinking Ellie was a minor or something based off of how EM was acting, but quickly realized just what he was dealing with. Eventually he turns to me. "Po, okay sir, please give me your version of what happened." I did so. Funny side note, at one point Po looks up at me and says, "Po, you look really I know you?" It actually turned out that Po and I had gone to high school together. Once we recognized each other, we laughed and shook hands and very briefly. This was hilarious because out of the corner of my eye, I see EM has a big scowl on her face as she sees me getting friendly with Po. But anyway, Po puts his notepad away, and turns to me. "Just for your information," he says the following with this heavy tone of "I know that you are fully aware of this and don't believe you are in the wrong at all, but I have to say this as a formality. Po, well, original poster, she doesn't want you on the property, so be aware that if you come back here you technically can be charged with trespassing. Do you understand this as I've explained it?" Original poster. Absolutely sir. EM, but sir, I want to press charges. Po, he didn't do anything illegal ma'am. EM, but he verbally assaulted me. Po, I understand that, and while that was ill-advised he slightly turns to me and gives me a small gesture with his hand, and I nod in agreement. It's not something I could arrest him for. He agrees he will not come back on your property without your direct permission. EM, okay fine whatever. Ellie, come back inside. Ellie, what? No EM, you heard Po, original poster is leaving and you're staying here. Po, whoa, ma'am, I didn't say that at all. EM, Po, your daughter is not a child ma'am, she is a full-grown adult, she has every right to go wherever she wants. EM, I'm her mother, she lives under my roof, I told her she needs to stay here so she needs to stay. Po, no ma'am, that's not how it works. If she wants to go stay with her boyfriend, there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop her. EM starts the fake crocodile tears and stomps in the house in defeat. Ellie and I thanked the officer, got in the car and they've been living together ever since. Happy ending. Believe it or not, EM isn't really much of an EM anymore. Over the years since that day, EM has actually decided to make an effort to try and improve herself. I guess she realized that if she didn't make changes, she would lose her relationship with Ellie. So EM started taking advantage of her medical coverage and went to see her psychiatrist and got medicine for mental illness she actually had as opposed to the one she would make up. Since, she has actually gotten way better. She takes her medicine regularly, and has a boyfriend that is an extremely kind man and treats Ellie as though she were his own daughter. So basically, EM isn't really an EM anymore. We actually get along very well and we see them frequently, and we help each other out whenever we can. We actually look back on the early years when she was in fact an EM and laugh. So not only is everybody getting along well, we can actually share the cringe stories and happily laugh about them. If you guys would like to hear some more, let me know. Edit. Oh my god, thank all of you guys significant other much for your upvotes, awards, kind wishes and positive support. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this so much. I am absolutely blown away by your responses and so is Ellie. We greatly appreciate it all. A lot of you have said you would like to hear more. So either tonight or tomorrow I'll post another story that we call the Jellyfish Story, and I'll put Ellie's Mom Part 2 in the title. Thank you guys again from the both of us, folded hands, smiley face, heart, 100, what a nice happy ending, even though you had to deal with an EM in the past, but this shows that not everything has to end up being a sad ending.